All right, let me come in studio. Dr. Zato. All right, so what's that?
Nipa.
Oh, but if you say wait, there's a bit
I'm sitting right here. You are
okay. So let me introduce my guest to you. Dr. Joshua Zato is a political and policy analyst, a lecturer at the University of Ghana. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Naraya Sapon is Deputy General Secretary, United Party. Naraya Udin Baku ye Baku everybody and Neshe Akwaba. Hamza, no, let me do Doctor because Doctor follows. Dr. Ekia Amwako is Deputy Spokesperson for the Dr. Baumia campaign. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo.
Thanks for coming here.
Happy to be here.
Hamza Souyini is lawyer and member of the NDC's communications team. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. And of course, good morning to my colleagues in the studio.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get straight into the issues that we have on the table this morning. Now, there's several that we need to talk about. Of course, I think the biggest will be, well, one of them will be the Ken Ofori-Atta OSP issues. Now, we understand that Ken Ofori-Atta has, his name has been taken off the red alert of the Interpol, and there are several issues coming up. Hamza, you're a lawyer. Let me start with you. From where you sit, how do you understand what's happening?
From where I sit, my understanding of what is happening is a reminder to all of us that the time has come for us to begin having the difficult of all conversations, the relevance of the Office of Special Prosecutor. I remember as far back as 2016, many of us, especially those from the National Democratic Congress, asked pertinent questions about the relevance of that political promise by Nado Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the MP. Because to us, we thought that it was a waste of time, it was a waste of taxpayers' money, and if not couched well, would eventually lead to a situation where it would be obstructive of justice rather than contributing to political accountability, especially when it comes to the fight against corruption. And for me, I feel vindicated about the OSP's role. You see, Kojo, I have a serious problem with the posture of this OSP. And I feel that as a country, the time has come for us to begin to have that difficult conversations. I was on another platform yesterday, and I had cause to raise concerns about these operations. And I'm told the spokesperson also, Dr. Zato, called into the program.
Dr. Zato is
I was on the same show with Dr. Zato.
Oh, okay.
And the spokesperson called into the program.
Of the OSP?
Yeah, I think so. Is it Sami
Dako?
Yes.
For that.
Yes. So he called and also attempted to explain the position of the OSP. But the mathematics is not mathing as we see out there. In the sense that, you see, the OSP indicated to the entire country that he needed the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta to carry out certain investigations. The gentleman was unwilling to cooperate with the OSP. At the back of that, he proceeded to place him on the Interpol red alert. Now, that was not enough. He subsequently wrote to the Chief of Staff indicating that he needed assistance to be able to put in an application to get Ken Ofori-Atta extradited to Ghana. That letter was referred to the Attorney General's office. We heard the Deputy General, Attorney General say that after meaningful engagements with the OSP, they were not successful in getting access to the docket that they themselves requested to help the process of getting Ken back to the country.
But the OSP came to explain.
The OSP's explanation was that they were preparing the docket.
Yes.
So if you were preparing a docket and you were not done with the docket, what was the motive behind the letter that was sent to the government through the Chief of Staff to assist the process to get him into the country?
But I'm happy you are a lawyer because some people explain that You don't need the full docket to be able to put in.
That is not true.
Really?
That is absolutely false. You need that. Because at the request stage, where it will be considered, it will be treated as a mini trial. It could be treated as a mini trial. They would have to look into the matters before they can actually agree with you indeed to go through that long haul. Because it could be that you are just looking for the gentleman out of political persecution. So even the external authorities would need to be convinced that this is grounded actually in law and in matters of accountability.
Which looks like it is the case, and the reason is details.
Absolutely. Yesterday when I listened to him, he said that now that they have filed the charges, they are now going to request through the court processes for such an order to be given, based on which the order would be added to a docket and now sent for consideration for his possible extradition to Ghana. So if you knew that this was meant to be the process, why did you have to take the entire nation for a ride? Make no mistake, Kojo, I am convinced without any shadow of doubt that Ken Ofori-Atta has serious questions to answer, not just in relation to the SML, in relation to many other issues, including the ambulance saga and the payments that were made to Nanado's daughter. These are questions that he ought to be made to answer.
Is it made to a company or to Nanado's daughter?
Oh, okay. If you are not comfortable with my reference to Nanado's daughter,
the fact
I'll replace it with
the
a
fact
company,
yeah, exactly.
with an association to that of that has an association with the daughter of Nanado. I think that covers you. Now, Kojo, so we should not make that mistake. I am convinced that Ken has serious questions to answer, especially when it comes to how he handled the economy of this country for more than 7 good years. And I consider his decision to abscond from this country under questionable circumstances unethical.
He wasn't well.
Oh, my brother.
You've seen a doctor.
Even at the time
and all of
that Ken was so unwell and his health status was visible in appearance, the gentleman flew back into this country and still continued to be finance minister when it was apparent on his face that this was a gentleman in health crisis. How long is it going to take for Ken to get back into this country, especially when he's seen roaming around the streets of the United States of America? How long is it going to take for him to fly back into this country and face accountability? Nobody is going to throw you behind bars. And it speaks volumes about the suspicions, especially the conduct of the OSP. It speaks volumes about the suspicions many are beginning to fly around, that this might just be a grand agenda by the OSP's office to actually obstruct the wheels of accountability.
But those many is led by you. I've seen your.
No, but I believe so. That's why I'm saying that I believe so. Because I have looked at the 78 counts or so, and even before that, I read the SML report, and it was funny. Because at the end of the day, if he goes to court and he's not successful, it becomes practically and legally impossible for the Attorney General's department to be able to pursue Ken Ofori-Atta in relation to that same SML matter.
Are you saying that from what you read, he will fail in court? He's
From
likely to
what
fail.
I read, I have listened to the press conferences of the Attorney General, especially when he's making allegations of corruption against ex-government officials. He traces public resources, how it ends up in people's accounts, and how they have been able to recover properties. These evidences are made public to many of us through these public engagements. Unfortunately, in the case of the OSP, I have read the SML report, and I cannot see anything beyond insinuations.
Hey.
I'm being honest with you, especially when it comes to the likes of Ken.
Wow.
And because I cannot see anything beyond insinuations and assumptions, it becomes practically difficult for me to agree with the contents of his report especially when it comes to complicity, without you giving us ample evidence. The only thing I see in the report is the likelihood of willful causation of financial loss to the state in relation to Ken Ofori-Atta. And if you look at Article 88.4 of the 1992 Constitution, undoubtedly, prosecutorial authority still in a way resides in the office of the Attorney General, even when it comes to the functions of the Office of Special Prosecutor. So I'm struggling to understand why the Office of Special Prosecutor is unwilling to cooperate with the Attorney General's department, especially when it comes to matters of this nature.
But when the
and
issues
his conduct so far shows unwillingness.
When the issues came up, they came to explain that they are willing to work with the Attorney General. And,
you think that if the Attorney General was not frustrated, the Deputy AG would have done that interview?
Yeah, but beyond that, they solved it. Haven't they?
How has it been solved?
Haven't they
Beyond that,
there?
we were told that the docket will be presented to the Attorney General.
Hasn't it been presented?
Absolutely not. Do you have information to the effect that has been presented?
Hey, you are with them. So,
I am not aware of
so if
any
you
such
say
information. Absolutely. And so, let us get it right. It appears that the Attorney General, the Office of Special Prosecutor, has rather become obstructive when it comes to issues of accountability. There are so many questions. I've had the opportunity of following the SML, what's the name? The Fourth Estate investigation into the SML matter. Like I indicated, there are so many grounds that you can
let me ask this and then I'll move on. You are saying today that the OSP has not presented the docket to the Attorney General.
My information is to the effect that that has not been done.
Well, I'm sure we'll cross-check.
No, that can be cross-checked. That's why I'm saying that is the information I have, that it has not been done. But you see, Kojo, right, let me conclude on this note so that my colleagues can come. As for many of us in this country, including certain members of the NPP, they know that the NDC's promise of resetting this country and ensuring accountability, especially when it comes to the stewardship of the previous managers of our economy, the accountability drive will not be meaningful, no matter the number of people we hold to account, if Ken Ofori-Atta is not part of that list. Because we all know, even in our private spaces, that the gentleman played an instrumental role when it comes to the management of our economy.
Yeah, exactly.
And issues of complicity as far as corruption allegations are concerned.
But for now, until proven in court, there are perceptions, right?
I agree with you, but that is why I'm telling you that, you see, politically, the government made promises that they will ensure political accountability.
That's fair.
We all, irrespective of how we feel, even about the OSP, we must not countenance this unhealthy posture of Ken.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
Not willing to cooperate with state institutions, especially when it comes to his role as finance.
Thank you. Let me bring in Dr. Amako. Doc, so, I mean, for example, with his name being taken off the red alert list, does it suggest that probably his argument to the commission that looked into his application sought some merit in it, and that could also impact the case that we're pursuing in Ghana?
Well, I don't know about it impacting the case that we're pursuing in Ghana because the jurisdictions are different.
Okay.
But obviously that will paint a picture as to the substance that's the case that the OSP is presenting. I actually have the charge sheet here, very long, but I do not see anything that is overwhelming evidence. I don't know if that's I stand to be corrected.
Hamza says it's full of.
No, I stand to be correct. So reading it as a lame person, I would expect to see more. Maybe stealing. This was done here to steal that. But all I'm seeing is, I think, a figure of about 18 million cedis. So about 8 people conspired to misappropriate 18 million cedis, including Ken Ofori-Atta.
But the money is bigger. Maybe, probably.
I'm seeing other ones, quoted, 15, blah, blah. No links to how this thing was done, like he was saying. And for me, I've always had a problem with the way and manner the OSP has handled this Ken Ofori-Atta situation. And I think it's very important for us to note that you may not like him, the former finance minister. He shepherded this country at a period where things were difficult. Understandably, a lot of people blame him or upset with him. But that and being liable for a crime are two very different things. And I hope that we as Ghanaians and as the judiciary especially, we do not allow our biases to get in the way of doing what is right. You could, touch wood, this is just an assumption, you could have a problem with the way he ran the Ministry of Finance. You could not like the way he did some things. But are those things crimes? It looks like the NDC is on a deliberate rampage, essentially, to paint the NDC, to paint members of the Akufo-Addo government in a certain light to be able to perpetuate their own agenda. It takes some pressure off them if almost every month they come up to call this person corrupt or that other person corrupt. But to me, I don't think we should allow, especially the way and manner the OSP is doing it. Now we are publishing mug shots and everything. My problem with him actually started with the Mustafa Hamid case. So you're in court with somebody, the person makes a video basically sort of belittling the weight of the case you have against him. And immediately the OSP, you expect them to be very busy and to have a lot of things on their plates, but they have time to sort of do a social media rebut. That's when I saw that, I mean, obviously all cannot be well there. They don't seem to have their priorities and focus right. And from this issuance of Ken Ofori-Atta, and for me it's not even about Ken Ofori-Atta, you are impinging on the reputation of several civil servants who have risen to the heights of their career. I'm seeing the list of people charged, 66 former DRA bosses. And you're accusing them with these things, and it could just be to be able to smear Ken Ofori-Atta. I have no problem if he's done something wrong and you actually have proof of wrongdoing. Then you do these things the right way. This all also ties into the atmosphere that has been created by the NDC government since they took office. They first went after the Chief Justice. They have gone after a lot of former appointees with utterly ridiculous bail conditions. So an atmosphere has almost been created as if we're in a season of witch hunting. This whole thing also started with nolli prosequi across board for almost all their people. So if we are seeking accountability or we are trying to do the right thing as a nation, shouldn't it be across board? Or now that the NDC is in government, accountability is only for those of the previous administration. We can even come to allegations of galamsey. Now almost every day we get allegations from members of the ruling NDC. Nothing is done about it. But there's always this focus to try and taint members of the previous administration in a very negative light. The last time we were here, we sat to talk about another contract that to me was, the abrogation of that was also very frivolous. And to be able to back that, there was a deliberate attempt by the sector minister to sort of come up with some wrongdoing to justify his action. And it's beginning to form a pattern. And I think in the midst of all of this, we have to be very cognizant of the fact that we are dealing with the human rights of people. In the end, all of this comes down to taking away a lot of rights from these people. So we have to make sure that those that we want to hang, essentially, are actually guilty of these crimes and deserve the treatment that they are going to get. We cannot turn this into a persecution state where, because it looks like there's a lot of I think if we go out right now and do like an approval rating for the former finance minister, he would not have a very high approval rating. That doesn't mean that he did something knowingly to cause financial loss to the state, or he stole from the state. Those are three different things that they need to establish to be able to go on the tangent that they are going on.
Grateful to you, Dr. Amako. Let me bring in Sapon. Nana, where do you stand in the OSP and Ken matter? Are you optimistic, or like other people, not optimistic?
Thank you very much, Kojo, and good morning to you. Before I come to the OSP, I just want to wish a comrade of mine, Hobson Yawa Adoye, a happy birthday. Director of Field Operations of the United Party. And of course, fair, not to mention his great contribution to the formation of our party and to the inspiration of many of us. But now, having said that, I think that I had made a stand on this already, and I have stated that personally, I do not a single day, trust Kisi Jabin and his team to do a good job when it comes to the Ken Ofori-Atta matter. I mean, with the draft they are playing with us, I do not foresee any good come out of this case. And this is very fundamental, all right? I mean, if you, from where it has started from, if you not even being a lawyer, you would understand that these are just games trying to delay the case with technicalities, all right? I mean, no one among
But why would he send a case to court and delay with technicalities?
He doesn't have a case.
Their lawyers are like that.
He himself, the one who's prosecuting.
They do that.
Ghana has a case, but the person who does the investigations and the person who does the prosecution can decide, all right, to play down the case and do mafia with the case.
But this is a serious allegation.
I'm not alleging. I'm saying that I do not trust him. I mean, you in this way allegation.
No.
I don't
The
trust
fact that he could be downplaying or using technicalities to delay the case. Someone we've trusted to prosecute.
And I said, I don't trust him.
Okay.
I think trust is personal.
Okay.
And I am giving you reasons why I don't trust him.
Okay.
Number one, we're in this country when Ken Ofori-Atta left. If you knew very well, even before the elections, that people were calling for the head of Ken Ofori-Atta to answer questions. You sat aloof and allowed him to go.
But he's explained why. He says his uncle was president.
It means he's not even fit to be in office. If you cannot hold someone accountable because the person's uncle is president, and that because the security services were not cooperating with you, then it means you're not fit to be in office. Number two, where was his social media handle? Is that not the place they have been playing what's the gentleman's name? Sami Dako. He will call into the show right now. Just give him 30 seconds, he will call. If he doesn't call, he will write a long letter and place it on Facebook. Have you not been reading some? Let's not speak English. Let's bring it down. How many times have you not read him respond to unnecessary matters?
Where the unnecessary is, who determines the unnecessariness?
Look at the lawyer Martin Pebu, the master. I mean, so what? Then you would invite him to invest to do what? When there are serious matters, when Ghanaians are concerned about their money, that we feel and we think that somebody has stolen our money, somebody has misappropriated our money, and we say that you are in charge of corruption and corruption-related activities, then you come and you be following other matters.
Yesterday, a professor said that if that is the case, then he doesn't have the mandate to have invited Martin Pebu.
How do you invite Martin Pebu? For what? We're in this country. When he said, I think it was on this show, when he was talking about the charges, the docket not being completed and a whole lot of things not being, and I said that, listen, wherever you have gotten to with the investigations, that you were able to invite, arrest, and then bail the others. In that same vein, if Ken is not willing to come back, listen, charge him online, try him online. If he is guilty, we would know. If he is not, we would know. They came up with flimsy excuses, holding press conferences, and you expect me to trust him? I mean, Hamza is here. He knows. Lawyers do these games sometimes. You understand me? They play technicalities to delay and they will mess up your case. Okay. Are we saying that we do not know where Ken Ofori-Atta is?
We know.
Are we saying that Kisi and his lawyers do not know that when they wanted to trigger the extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta, it had to go through the office of the Attorney General? I am not a lawyer, but at least this is black and white. what made him, a lawyer as he is, write to the office of the Chief of Staff and not the office of the Attorney General to expedite the processes for his extradition? Is that not some of the technicalities?
Okay.
The Chief of Staff had to minute the letter, redirect it to the office of the Attorney General. And this is common knowledge. Everybody here knows. But Sami Daku will come and explain, speak English to us.
Okay.
Please, you see, we are talking about money here. And I have said it. I will not be interested in anybody. But if Ghana has been graciously, the honor we give Ken, haven't appointed him as our finance minister, he should do us the same and come and account to the same people.
But he's explained that he's undergoing, he's recuperating from
whatever he's undergoing. I am not a medical doctor. I do not think it's way much greater than that which he went through some years back, some 2-3 years back. And I met him at Kempinski. And when his pictures even came out, people were scared for his life.
All right.
I do not think that whatever he went through at that material moment is greater than what he's going through.
Okay.
And of course, experts have explained that even with the procedure he underwent and he undertook, it should not have taken him more than a week for him to recover.
But his lawyers will be ready to go to court. They've explained that they are ready to go to court.
We don't have a problem him going to court. But as I said earlier, and I would repeat myself today, this Ken Ofori-Atta case is a test of Ghana's own effort and commitment to fair and equal trial and equal justice to everybody.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. Let me bring you Dr. Joshua Zato here. I mean, sitting and listening, and also following what has been happening between the OSP and Ken. And now the OSP says that because of the charges and plus other matters, his name will also be back on the could possibly be back on the red alert list. Do you also have the conviction that probably this is much ado about nothing, just as I've heard around the table today?
Thank you very much. Today is the birthday of Honorable Mohammed Bataglia. He's the Member of Parliament for Sisala East and my MP. Honorable, happy birthday. We are John Wang. When I was working for Laza, when I got there, I have moved a Mokpara of way. Yeah, Miss Long Vina, Mr. Mokpara. I'm a very young one. Happy birthday to you, Mohammed. Okay. May you continue to shine. Yes.
We also wish him a huge happy birthday, Honorable.
That's my friend, yes.
Okay, so I've said something else. So, General locally, once more, Helena, less than it's something different. Okay, so happy birthday. Thank you. When I come back and say, look, I want to believe that, and it's my solemn conviction that the office of the Special Prosecutor has outlived its usefulness. It is increasingly becoming a relic. A very young organization is increasingly becoming a relic. And I seriously believe that its continuous existence is not justified. If you just do a simple value for money analysis...
Sorry, I need to cut you here. Are you talking about the person or the office?
And what the person has done to the office as it stays now.
Is irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. If you just do a simple, I'm convinced that if you do a simple value for money, looking at how much money we've put into that office and the expectant savings or the expectant recoveries or the expectant anti-corruption, this is what we have not, the country will not be making a profit. The country will not be breaking even. Secondly, that office has now refused to strike fear in the hearts of people or public servants. That was what it was supposed to be. And so that corporate entity, I want to believe strongly that its relevance, its continuous relevance, is now a drain on the national budget. The amount of money put there could have helped to fix the Tumu roads. The amount of money put there could have helped to fix, to help farmers in Tumu now who cannot get markets to sell their maize, to sell their soya beans. The amount of money put there could have helped to build a number of primary schools and renovate places in my hometown. It has not happened. So it's my firm conviction that that office has outlived its usefulness and that its continuing existence is just a drain on the national coffers. 1. 2, I have the charges that people are talking about, if you have a story about it, it represents to me something called a Hail Mary throw. As a Catholic, the Hail Mary is one of the most powerful prayers we do. In sports analogy, faint Twitter heroes across the street will tell you, in the NFL, to throw a Hail Mary is almost like a last-minute attempt. You are down, the clock is down, you just throw it, hoping to hit something. Even in football, it happens. Remember, it's 90 minutes, the referee says, you have the ball, wherever, just throw it, hoping that something happens. And I believe that these charges are a Hail Mary through to save his job. They're Hail Marys because there are powerful forces and voices that are calling for his job. There are powerful forces whose voices are heard on the corridors of the Jubilee House. There are powerful voices whose voices the Jubilee House cannot ignore, that have publicly come out to call for his job. And so in an attempt to save his own behind, I can't use us, can I? No. He's saying, here, he just throws these charges out. Say, hey, you thought I was not doing it. Hey, now see, 78 charges. I'm doing something. I'm doing a lot. Save his behind. And I am saying, that's what I'm saying. It's a Hail Mary through. Hoping that his critics will see this and say, okay, finally, he has brought something. Finally, this is a big fish. Because if you look at this whole thing from January up to now, it has been this drip, 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 drip. And that drip, drip, drip has exhausted the political capital, and it has been exhausted. Ken Ofori-Atta's name has been dragged through the mud. Every day Ken Ofori-Atta. Every day Ken Ofori-Atta. And people have asked. All of a sudden you are like, hey, guess what? I'm going to charge you even though you are not here. Whatever happened to the habeas corpus, I hope I'm pronouncing it well. So
can you help him?
We know what it is. Go on.
Whatever happened to the habeas corpus claims you made? Whatever happens to the claims that unless he is here in person, I won't charge you? Whatever happened to that? Then you rush to issue a red alert. And now we have been told that the processes to even get there is not there. So the alert has temporarily taken off. Even if it's not taken off, couldn't you have done this then? Because remember, his lawyers have always said that we are available. You charge him, we will come. In this day and age, the United Nations even conduct serious diplomacy via Zoom, haven't they?
They do.
Governments all over the world are conducting cabinet meetings via Zoom. Businesses are transacting multi-billion-dollar contracts through Zoom. Zoom and technology have now become a way for us to do this things. And I've heard in other so many jurisdictions, technology has now made it possible that people can be charged, prosecuted, and sentenced without even setting foot in court. All this technology was there. So if the man says he's sick, he has given you notice that he's sick. The family has told you he's sick. Why don't you take him on? Why don't you say, okay, you are sick? Let's Zoom. 2, when you say, okay, you are sick, you know what? I will send 2, 3 of my investigators from almost I will come. I'll come meet you. If you are strong enough, come and meet you. You see, you exhaust all these things. So that when you are done, then you can say, you didn't come for the Zoom. Our investigators came, you didn't meet them. We have exhausted all the legitimate means of having you. And it didn't work. Precisely because of that, now we are going to issue a red light. I can understand that. Interpol can understand that. FBI can understand that. But if your first go-to step is a red alert, then it means that you are rather trying to cover something else. So my point is that once you now go all this far, you hit this wall, come back, then you saw that there was some bickering between him and the Attorney General. And I'm asking myself a question. Look, if you're an arm's length organization, if you're an arm's length organization, and you have a mother organization, the last thing you want is to what? Seem to be picking public fights with your mother organization. The last thing you want to do that, because especially if you need their cooperation, and sometimes you need their money, sometimes you need their legal covers. Even though you're arm length, that's the point I've made. Arm length means that you have operational, policy, or legal autonomy from that mother organization. But still, you don't do that because you realize that you may need them. If you remember, go back. This office when it started, initially, Honorable Martin Amido had similar fights with the then, is it CID or ECO? Or the police service in general. There were just fights about dockets not coming or not going. That is a similar thing because if you look at the work that the OSP was doing, it's supposed to depend on a number of organizations. Some of them cohesive, some of them investigative, to help you do your work. So you need to build very good relationship with that ecosystem. So that at any time, if you need something, you can call the CID boss, you can call the ECO boss, you can call the AG, and they will do you a favor to help you do your work. You need to have that better relationships.
Okay.
So far, he has poisoned the ecosystem. And so it looks like the AG is not prepared to now stick out his neck to protect you. So it's like, okay, you are independent, go. And when you do that, it comes to where we are today, that so much money has been sunk into an office, a lot has happened, you've got the public will, you've got everything, and now we are seeing that the returns on that investment is zero.
Okay, all right. Okay. I'm grateful to you.
Yes,
I'll just give you 30 seconds.
Yeah,
because
30 seconds.
I need to move on.
I need to respond to the two of them. You have given me two NPP spokespersons. It is only fair you give me.
We only have one NPP
then you also have two NDC spokespersons.
No,
Dr. Zato.
Please.
Then UP plus 2 is NDC and
I'm surprised it took this long for him to come to that.
UP plus is also NDC annex.
So it is only fair.
I thought he was going to start with it.
Hamza,
In fact, in principle,
I can only give you one.
By
We
the
need to move on.
in principle, by now I would have been saying something.
Yes, go on.
Smaller political parties.
You
Kojo,
could say that.
You were doing that. Then it's
this
true you were
country-
giving the
You
EC
say
and
Please, please. Hamza is on the floor.
you see, Nana, can I feel? Listening to my sister, Dr. Ekuya, and that of Dr. Zato this morning, I was a bit lost as to what they actually stand for in principle. You see, many of the terrible decisions of the last regime, it is not the Ghanaian people who are facing it today. It is the same NPP appointees and those who champion these decisions are those criticizing the relevance of many of these institutions and decisions that they made. When they were talking about OSP and decided to brand it as an institution intending to target ex-NDC appointees, we cautioned them.
Oh, but that was not the intention.
That was the intention. It was clear. Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia made promises on the back of allegations they made against Mahama appointees. Let us not pretend in this
But the
country.
OSP was going to be in
And we told them,
even
and
when
we
NPP had
told
gone
them
into opposition.
that they needed to hasten slowly. And that if there's anything at all that they should be thinking, it's about how to empower the Attorney General's office.
I need to move on. So what's your point?
No. The point I'm making is that today, my brother says the office is irrelevant.
You've said
I
so.
agree. But this kind of politics of only coming to the table when it suits them is something we must condemn. Because we have watched so much of our taxpayers' money down the drain.
Even when
And
they
also
agree
listen-
with you. Okay.
Please listen. He also made the accusation. Please, Kojo, I won't allow you to rush me. Please.
No, we don't have time now.
If I would use
we need
all
to-
my time on this issue, I would be more than willing to do that.
No,
But
you
I
need
won't
to
allow
tackle
many of the
other-
things
you
he
need to
said
tackle
go
other
on.
issues too.
He is also sought to create an impression that there are big players in the Jubilee House who are after the gentleman. You see the contradiction in terms of interplay.
But there's a
Listen, on one
campaign
breath,
to get him out.
Please,
which I've seen you even share on social media.
There is
Also.
no campaign to get him out.
Uh-huh.
The campaign has always been focused on the relevance of that office. And I am not an appointee of the Jubilee House. I'm a member of the National
Yes.
Democratic
You are
Congress.
not an appointee.
I'm not an appointee of the Jubilee House. And so my positions on national issues should not be mistaken as that of the official position of government.
Okay. All right.
And you see,
Thank you very much.
No. And
Thank you, Hamza.
Kojo.
Hamza, I've given you 2 minutes.
Kojo, no. You see, he sought to create an impression, and I expected you to interrogate that. That there are people in the Jubilee House who want the gentleman out, and so he's doing everything to please them. Even those of us who are sympathetic to the activities of the Jubilee House and the party have raised concerns, not today. In fact, we raised those concerns from day one about the conduct of the OSP.
You've explained. You're saying that's
My
not
sister
true.
also made
It's not true.
references.
Let's
We
move
are
on.
talking about
Let's move on and deal with the Tokono issue in. No,
Don't do this.
let's move on.
Unless, of course, you want me to go out.
Why?
No,
I've given you enough
I
time.
need to respond to many of these allegations. Please.
You've debunked the claims. So let's move on.
Dr. Ekuya makes the point.
Uh-huh.
We are talking about the OSP and the fact that there's the need for us to critically examine his conduct so far. We have done so dispassionately in the interest of the nation.
Thank you.
I could have taken a partisan position.
Okay,
But
thank you.
I heard my sister made references to issues of Galamsey.
Your point
and
is
what-
well
and
made,
issues of
Hamza.
bail.
You
No, it's
disagree
not
with
well
her.
made. No, it's not well made.
Hamza,
Kojo, why are you doing that?
we have two
Show your
issues we have to
listeners-
move on to.
No, but it is not right. It's not
ECOWAS
right.
court has rejected former CJ's interim relief application. You are a lawyer. We need to discuss that. What's in it for Tokono? Really?
That is what you want to discuss. My interest for being around this table is to protect the image of the government.
But that is why we invited you here.
Yes, my interest is to protect the image of the government.
But
and you did not invite me here to sit aloof and allow people make disparaging remarks.
But you've done that. You've clarified.
How have I clarified?
You said that's not the point.
That is okay.
Okay, 10 seconds, go on.
Why are you doing this morning? Now, she makes references to issues of Galamsey and also proceeded to talk about bail bonds. What has bail bonds got to do with the government?
We'll come to that.
We have an independent judiciary that many of you, even at the time you were in government, told us that if we had issues with your activities, we should go to court because you had confidence in the independence of the judiciary.
So let's stay in the
Many of the judges we are appearing before were judges appointed by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Thank you very much.
Give me an example of
You've
a judge
explained.
who has sat on a case to issue ad bail
that you consider
problematic. Why are you doing this?
Oh, but Hamza, I want us to continue to stay in the court. Is the court you are referring to?
I'm sure your listeners and viewers are watching, but you see, you are being unfair.
Oh.
But now, on the issue of Galamsey,
you've had two bites. Everyone has had one.
Galamsey?
It's fine. Let's move on.
No, but it is not proper for us to all have our right of reply. I don't have a problem with that. We can.
Now, okay, so you follow the issue with the CJs trying
No, then
to
you may want to start with them. Okay. Because I've realized that you have an agenda that I don't understand.
Oh, Hamza.